Hello everyone, welcome back to Third Round TKO. My name is Tim. I'm joined once again by my co-host Evan. How's it going, Evan?
Good. What's going on? How are you?
Well, happy 2021, everyone. It's been a little minute since we've been here,
We're
but
back like a spine. Ready to rock.
we are back, ready to rock. We're looking at UFC Fight Night Holloway versus Kattar. It's going to be in Abu Dhabi, UFC Fight Island. It's this Saturday. Interesting start time.
Unfortunately.
Noon Eastern?
Yeah, noon Eastern.
Noon Eastern. There we go. So we're going to start at the bottom and we're going to work our way up. We have Jacob Kilburn. He's 8-3 versus Austin Lingo, 7-1. This is a featherweight bout. We have Jacob Kilburn coming in off a loss to Billy Quarantillo in his UFC debut. And we have Austin Lingo, who also came in off a loss in his UFC debut to Youssef Zalal. I mean, I'd probably rate Billy Q a little higher than Zalal, but Jacob Kilburn did get finished.
Yeah, it's no, everybody knows that Kilburn has nothing on the ground. Moffitt just diced him up down there. Billy Q diced him up down there. I don't think this fight really is going to play out like that at all. I think Lingo is more just boxing, heavy on that front leg. And Kilburn's just wonky, weird kicks, keeps on the outside. I think it's going to be a shitty fight, goes to decision. I wouldn't be mad with Kilburn by decision, but I'm not betting Lingo as a -2 whatever favorite.
Yeah, I've seen Lingo getting some love on the interwebs.
Yeah, I mean, what has he done for you lately? Like,
Nothing.
Kilburn hasn't done shit either, but
Yeah,
Kilburn's not a juiced favorite.
I'm with you there. I would probably seek value in Kilburn. This is kind of a pass for me. I'm not super interested
He
in
put two
either
guys
of these
out
guys.
cold, too, with punches, too. And, I mean, Lingo could definitely knock him out, but I don't going to take it.
Yeah, this is a pass for me.
Yeah, I'd rather take the chance with Kilburn in
For
the
sure.
decision.
I think any lean on DK for this one for you? I mean, obviously, you take the value.
If you think Lingo's going to get that first round knockout that he's been getting before UFC, then you got to take Lingo. But I don't think he is.
Yeah.
And I mean, if Kilburn squeaks out a decision in something that's just going to be all striking, I don't think there'd be that much cage work. If it gets to the ground, I assume the other one's not good enough to hold him down on the ground. I haven't seen that yet from either one.
And new Draftkings scoring.
Kilburn. I wouldn't mind Kilburn if you think he has a chance to get the dub.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have no idea about the new Draftkings scoring yet, though.
Yeah, me neither. We're going to see how that plays out. But yeah, I guess we kind of agree here. Moving on, we have Sarah Moras versus Vanessa Melo. Sarah Moras is 6-6. She has had a pretty long UFC career, coming in off the Ultimate Fighter pretty early on, fighting Raquel Pennington and Invicta before that. She hasn't had a lot of success. She's going up against Vanessa Melo. She's 10-8, also not a ton of success. Lost all 3 of her UFC fights, all 3 by decision. Yeah, this is another one for me. It's kind of on a hard pass. Just don't really bet women's MMA very often anymore.
I have nothing either on this one. I mean, Sarah Moras lost to Lucy Pudilova, so that's always a red flag. But Vanessa Melo, really, I don't rate her at all. I won't touch this, but...
Yeah, me neither. So kind of agree here. Moving on.
Yeah,
we have David Zawada versus Ramazan Emeev. Zawada is 17-5. He is 1 out of 3 in the UFC, coming in off his first win. Ramazan Emeev, he's had a bit longer of UFC career, a bit more success. His only loss coming to Anthony Rocco Martin, a pretty high-level opponent. Yeah, Emeev is coming into the UFC's decision machine. All 5 of his fights have gone to decision. He's won 4 of those. Like I said, his only loss coming to Rocco Martin. Emeev is 3 years Zawada senior, 2 inches shorter, but we'll have a 6.5-inch reach disadvantage. Zawada lost to Danny Roberts by split decision. He was finished by Jingliang Li and got a triangle choke over Abu Bakr Nurmagomedov. Emeev is a minus 260 favorite. He started, I think, still, I checked the line today, but he started closer to 200, and it's widened slowly since then. I mean, I would lean Emeev here. I think that he's not the most confident pick for his price tag, but I mean, Zawada is nothing special.
Yeah. I'm pretty confident in Emeev here. I don't mind him as a parlay piece, or if you want to bet him straight. But Zawada, he's not really good at anything, really. He gets taken down pretty easily. He just dives on a lot of, like, low percentage submissions. I mean, it worked his last fight.
Yeah.
But I think Emeev showed that he could handle that already in a couple fights. Rocco Martin dove on a bunch of leg locks against him. I think Emeev survives that, gets all the top control for this new Draftkings scoring. If that's what's going to score, he could just get takedowns and hold you down.
Certainly.
Everybody hates rostering Emeev on Draftkings because he's always scored like shit. But, I mean, I think he's just going to get takedowns, ride this out, ground and pound when he can. And that's about it. Unless Zawada does pull out one of these back-to-back submissions again. But I'm going to take Emeev likely by decision, yeah. But I would just bet. I think he's just fine to add him as a parlay.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think that he's definitely viable. I'd put him in like a lower piece of my parlay. But yeah,
I think he should be low owned on DraftKings as well, with like Buckley up there. I'm not sure who else is priced high.
Yeah, when I was
want Holloway or Kattar, Ponzinibbio, I think Emeev could potentially be a sneaky play up top there.
Yeah,
it's gonna cost you, but if it pays off, you should get like up on some people.
Kind of when I was looking depends on your build.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I feel like Kattar was almost like a must play if you think this fight's gonna go to decision, even if he loses. I just didn't see a lot of dogs, and it's kind of harder up in that, higher range. You
can't fit them all. You gotta make some tough choices.
Well, moving on, we have a heavyweight bout. We have Justin Tafa versus Carlos Felipe. Tafa is 4-1. He lost his first fight to Yordan De Castro. It's a pretty nice knockout. And then won his next fight by finish versus Juan Adams. Carlos Felipe is 9-1. He beat Yordan De Castro by decision and lost to Sergey Spivak in his UFC debut. Yeah, Felipe pretty favorite still, right?
Why is that? There's a little lag right there, man.
Felipe a pretty big favorite still.
He should be. Last time I checked, -2 some, I believe. 185.
-185. Oh, so it's come down a little.
Some spots.
Come down a little bit.
-185 now, and the best I see.
I mean, for me, I just kind of think it'll probably be a decision.
Yeah, I don't think you could bet Felipe as a favorite here.
No, I don't think he's that far ahead.
Tafa got iced by De Castro, but he just sprinted into that with his hands down. Hopefully he learned from that. And before that, I know it wasn't a long fight, but he was on his way doing the same thing Felipe did to him. He was holding him against the fence that whole time, and then he just fucked up, and it cost him. But, I mean, that obviously doesn't say everything, but I think Tafa could get this one out. I think they're both shit on the ground. If Tafa does just try to get this to the cage, maybe does get a takedown too. Who knows? But both of you guys are shit on the ground. I don't know. I'm not taking a chance either side.
Yeah, me neither. I feel like it's not a great DraftKings play either, probably.
And yeah, unless you are pretty confident one's going to get a finish.
Which I'm not.
Correct. Me as well.
Moving on, we have Yanan Wu versus Joselyne Edwards. Yanan Wu is 11-3. She has won 1 out of her 3 in the UFC, and Joselyne Edwards is 9-2. She's making her UFC debut, coming in on short notice to take the place of Besh Correa. Besh?
Bitch.
I mean, this is another one I just don't have I know we've kind of passed on all these early fights, but
I kind of got something here.
I know
I like the dog here.
you have a little bit of lean. Go ahead.
I like the dog here, and I already bet her too. I
Okay.
took her at plus 154. I'm not sure what she's sitting at now.
Let's see.
It's a pick'em now.
Yeah, minus 110. Okay, so you got a little bit of value
Yeah, I
there.
got plus 154, but fucking Wu's just gonna want to just jab, stick and move. She's not talented really whatsoever offensively. She has weak takedown entries. She kind of reacts weird again. Hit at the end of the round against Gina Mazzani. She kind of got cracked, and she was just kind of like holding her head just for like 20 seconds on the stool. I didn't know what was going on, and that was just weird to me. And this girl,
Concussed, maybe.
Joselyne, is that her first name?
Yeah, I think so.
Joselyne Edwards.
Mm-hmm.
She just throws wild hooks. So I mean, she definitely could catch her with a couple of those. If it does get to the ground, this girl's like long legs. She has weird escapes, reversals. She's strong. She's like a Chuck Liddell. She's just sprawling ball, fucking banging hooks, dead ass. She's kind of crazy, but I mean, I don't say that in the most talented way, but that's just, she's going to bring on this Chinese girl.
Yeah, I like Edwards for Draftkings a little bit as a dog.
I think her knockout's live.
Yeah, I mean, and she's just cheap. I think you're getting value there compared to the line now currently.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely like Edwards on DK. I felt like the dogs were a little kind of hard to come by. You know, I like
that girl Wu fought like nobody, and I saw she did get knocked out by Kunitskaya. I couldn't find like video of that, so I don't know how that
I saw that as well.
But, I mean,
she's not like a power puncher.
Shit was just weird. I think it was end of round 2, like right at the buzzer. I don't know. It was fucking weird to me.
I'll have to come back and take a look at it.
But yeah, I got Edwards.
Nice.
Give me the KO.
That'd be dope. Moving on, we have Nassourdine Imavov. He's 9-2 versus Phil Hawes. He is 9-2 as well. This is a middleweight fight. Imavov is a Dagestani fighter currently fighting out of France. He's coming in with a win in his debut against fellow debutant Jordan Williams. He defeated him by decision. Hawes is also 1-0 in the UFC, coming off a win versus Jacob Malkoun by first round KO, who was also making his UFC debut. Hawes was previously featured on The Ultimate Fighter Season 23. He lost to a current UFC vet and the winner of that season, Andrew Sanchez, who was a pretty good fighter, turned into a pretty good UFC fighter. He had a stint in World Series of Fighting Bellator and was featured on a Contender Series twice. He lost his first appearance and won his second to earn the contract. Hawes kind of a kill-be-killed fighter. He's won most of his fights by first-round finish. In 3 of his losses, 2 of them were by submission. One of them was the decision to the previously mentioned Andrew Sanchez. Imavov wins a lot of his fights by choke. He's only lost 1 decision and once by guillotine, but the latter was his pro debut. Imavov is younger by 7 years, who have a 3-inch height advantage, but he gives up a couple inches of reach to Hawes. I think Hawes was like a 160 favorite last I checked. He was closer to 185 when it started, but it kind of was coming down. I'm not sure what the line movement like is now. I haven't checked in a bit.
Yeah, Phil Hawes at minus 135. That's team weight.
That's pretty good. I like that, yeah. Imavov's definitely there to be hit, man. He's pretty quick when he puts his forward. He gave up super easy takedowns to Munair. It's just not a great look against not a very good wrestler anyway. He will attack the guillotine takedown defense. He's kind of sharp with his strikes.
He's a good counter striker.
His chin is a little bit suspect there, I thought. But he did well to shoot on like a desperation takedown off a clash of heads against Williams. The only real concern here is Imavov kind of does well to attack the neck, and he might have a bit of a cardio advantage. I did like to see Hawes go to decision. Or would, excuse me. But yeah, Hawes has been putting in work, man. He looks to be in tremendous shape on Instagram. He trains with like Volkan Uzdemir, Rodolfo Vieira, who is also fighting, I'm pretty sure. Or did that get canceled? Or was he?
I don't know what right now. But
I'm going to side with Hawes, and I think that he'll probably get the knockout.
I'm going to side with Hawes as well. A lot of people are betting Imavov, it seems, though. So I just that side, they're just relying on Hawes to slow down and then Imavov to take over in the later rounds. Imavov is a good counter striker. He just went 3 rounds his last fight. But I'd like to think Hawes moved past that and his cardio has improved. mean, like you were saying, strong strikes, strong leg kicks, strong takedown entries. I think he's going to be able to walk Imavov down. Imavov's going to be waiting too long. And even if he doesn't get the KO on the feet, he could just get him to the cage, get the takedown, and just do work.
Yeah, man. I agree. Hawes. I like Hawes for a bet.
But if Hawes does slow down, it's for sure a Rizzy. Imavov will take over.
But I do like. Hawes has been putting in work, man. He looks like he's for a long time. He's been waiting for a fight.
I like to think he moved past that. Like, how long ago was that fight against Julian Marquez?
Let's look.
Yeah, that shit was 3.5 years ago. I know he hasn't gone like past the first round since, so we can't see it. But like,
yeah, I assume he's putting in the work, So
I'm gonna take Phil Hawes, and it seems the line's just gonna get better and better for Hawes better. So I'm gonna wait.
Yeah, I'm on Hawes. I'm on him by KO, probably prop as well. But it's just with such good odds. I mean, just take him straight up.
He's
Moving on.
800 on DraftKings. It's tough catching that spot.
I'm definitely playing him on DraftKings. We have middleweight fight against two undefeated fighters, Punelli Soriano versus Desco Turdorovic. Both these guys coming off stoppage victories in the UFC debuts. Desco is 2 years younger, a couple inches taller. They have pretty similar reach. Soriano actually, I think, has half an inch reach advantage. Soriano has finished every opponent, most of them in the first round. The only exception is the Contender Series fight against Jamie Pickett. But as we saw in the Njukwu fight, Pickett's chin is made of iron. Desco is also a potent finisher. He's finished majority of his fights outside his Contender Series bout as well against Teddy Ash. He's beaten a couple familiar names, Alexander Popik, and he knocked out Michel Pereira. Vegas had this one line pretty close last I checked. I think Desco is a slight favorite. Yeah.
My bad, I wasn't looking.
Oh, no. Yeah, Desco, minus 155. So, yeah, slight favorite. Yeah. I really like Soriano here. And just in general, he also trains with some good guys like Danny Gay, Cody Stamen, Kevin Lee, Ian Heinisch. Heavy hands, heavy kicks, clear knockout power. I like to see him go into a decision in that Pickett fight. You got to see a little bit of the gas tank. Got to put him in an actual fight to the decision, which is good. I think learning opportunity. He is a collegiate wrestler and pretty opportunistic with the takedowns. He can explode through like a double leg. And it was nice to see him get that top pressure and kind of ride out that fight against Pickett when he was maybe getting a little tired. Yeah, Desco real light on his feet, much more light than Soriano. Really good defensive vision. The main thing is that he keeps his hands extremely low and he moves back in a straight line where he just kind of like tilts his head back out of the way. He will throw little kicks. I will say that over Michel Pereira was a different version of the Michel Pereira we know. It almost seemed like just gassed out right away, Michel, which was kind of weird. And the ref did step in pretty quickly. Michel looked okay at the end, more just like tired than anything. There really isn't anything to show that Desco's chin may be suspect, but I think that Pickett's chin is going to be much better than Desco's chin, probably, irregardless of the situation. And Soriano's real close to having Pickett out in the first. He almost had him out of the fight in the first round there at the end. I do think that...
Pickett held up that last fight against that dude.
Yeah,
that was supposed to knock him out.
Njukwu. Yeah, I think that Desco is a bit more crisp and technical with his strikes. I think that's going to be his biggest advantage. Soriano loads up on all those big hooks, overhands, and Desco could maybe catch him in between. But I also think it could help Soriano to use those heavy low kicks. He didn't use that very much. He likes to throw those bombs, but it could really help with Desco kind of bouncing around. I'm going to take Soriano as a dog here, straight up. I think you could take him inside the distance as well to juice those odds. I also think that maybe this fight not going to decision is a good bet. I think it was minus 180. But yeah, I also like Soriano for DK. I feel like he's a pretty good value there.
Yeah, I'm on the Puna side as well. I didn't think Desco was too impressive in his last two fights. His Contender Series fight, he just held him on the cage for 3 rounds the entire time. Couldn't get a takedown. Just kept him there. And then his last fight against Daquan, he didn't really look that impressive striking against him. And then once he took him down, everybody looks like that against Daquan. So, I mean, I'm not going to take much out of that. And Desco does like to clinch. I mean, Puna could catch him with one of those, like you said. or get the takedowns, but I'm on the Puna side as well. We pretty much covered everything I was going to say.
Cool. Moving on. We got Joaquin Buckley, another middleweight fighter. Joaquin Buckley, 12-3 versus Alessio De Chirico, 12-5. I'm sure most people know Buckley by now. He got KO of the year on Impa Kanganai. Buckley's 2 out of 3 in the UFC. His only loss coming to Kevin Holland. And what was a pretty good fight. Not a bad showing there for Buckley, I'd say. The win over Jordan Wright isn't worth a damn, in my opinion. We saw that he just doesn't react well to getting hit and even got sparked by Anthony Hernandez.
Yeah, for real.
Buckley had previously lost to Jackie Gosh by strikes in round 1, which was a bit alarming to me. It was kind of a weird sequence, but he just got straight flatlined with a straight right and then kind of grounded pound out. He did kind of come back to consciousness pretty quick, it seemed like, but even before the ref really stopped it. But he was definitely out cold, it looked like, for a minute. De Chirico coming in on 3 losses. He's 3-5 in the UFC. Fighting of his own gym, Rome, Italy, not a good look. For being 31 years old, he's just not a lot of development out of De Chirico. I mean, Zach Cummings is a true UFC vet. He's going to be a tough out for anyone, but Buckley is just going to bring a much different game than Cummings. He's going to bring the volume. He's going to throw in combination. And obviously getting knocked out at the bell with a head kick in your last fight is never a good thing coming into this one. I got to back Buckley here. The only question to me is if he finishes De Chirico. De Chirico is, pretty tough to separate from his consciousness, but I don't know. I could see this going to decision, actually.
Yeah, I think it seems just like a setup fight. Everything you said, I think, set up for Buckley. Buckley's going to eventually corral him against the fence and put the hammers on him. I'll say Buckley KO. But, I mean, like you said, Chirico is a tough out. So, I mean, Buckley on DraftKings is going to be... He's going to have the highest ownership. Everyone's going to want to chase Buckley KO.
Yep.
So, I mean, if...
It could be
other guys
it could be a fade spot. Yeah, it could be a fade.
Yeah, he could still score, and Buckley could not get him out to like the 3rd round, and Holloway wins 5 rounds, putting up hella strikes. That's going to outscore him. If Emeev does his thing, that's going to outscore him. Like, Hawes knocks him out, that's going to outscore him. So, I mean, you don't need Buckley on DraftKings, but I think he does get the KO.
Yeah. I think it might go to decision, actually. But Buckley is going to be my block of the night, pretty much. He'll be in all of my parlays. He's going to win the fight either way. To me, it's mostly if he just finishes or not. So, moving on, we have a welterweight bout. We have Santiago Ponzinibio. He's 27-3 versus Jingliang Li. Both these guys are coming in off of facing Neil Magny. Jingliang lost to Magny in March of 2020, whereas Ponzinibbio beat Magny in November of 2018, which was his last appearance. He was signed for 18 months with blood and bone infections and then arthritis. He spent a few months in the hospital, I know, and had many months of rehab. It does look like he's been training regularly for some time now on his Instagram, but who really knows, I guess. I mean, for me, you gotta lean Ponzi here. He's the favorite, and for good reason. Barring any ring rust or something similar, he should come out and take care of business against Jingliang Li. I'd probably say by decision. Li is pretty tough. He's only been finished once in his career, and that was by choke. Anything?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Ponzi is too trustworthy, though, as a favorite. I'm not adding him personally in any parlays.
No. Yeah, me neither.
Or betting him at all.
Nope.
I wouldn't count out the Leech here. I mean, Ponzi is probably the rightful favorite, but the whole layoff, Ponzinibio's wins, he beat Neil Magny, but all the other ones aren't really that impressive now, how his opponents turned out. This fight's in Abu Dhabi, that's closer to where Lee shines in China. All his fights in China, he does well. When it comes to Vegas is when he fucks up. So, but I mean, I wouldn't count out Lee, but Ponzi probably is a rightful favorite. I'm not touching it.
Yeah, I'm not going to touch it either. I don't like it for DraftKings or betting at all. I mean, that Ponzinibbio fight with Magny, it almost looked like he's had some kind of weird effect on Magny's eye early, and that kind of just caused him a bunch of trouble that he just couldn't really, get past.
Yeah.
I do think Ponzi should be the clear favorite, but I agree with you. A full pass for me.
I don't mind the punt on Lee if you have like 7,000 or less on DraftKings.
No,
For your
not at
last
all.
spot.
Yeah. Much
I
better
wouldn't count him
value
out.
there. And we have a welterweight co-main event, which is kind of trash. Excuse me, but
I have
Carlos,
nothing for this.
Carlos Condit, 31-13 versus Matt Brown, the Immortal, 22-17. I mean, Matt Brown, a few years older, definitely further on down the line in his career, in my opinion. If you had to make a choice for me, it'd be Condit. I'm not sure what the odds are. Let's see, -165 to +145. That's actually not terrible odds. I just don't think either of these guys you can trust or want to put your money in personally. So yeah, another pass. I know there's a ton on this card, man, but
Yeah.
it just kind of is what it is.
I don't like this, but I mean, I do think Condit is the rightful favorite. We saw he still can crack. He knocked down Court McGee last fight.
Yeah,
But
I think Matt Brown's he's just further on. You know, he's dust at this point. He's not Immortal anymore for sure, and probably will be cut and released after this loss.
Yeah.
The main event. This is obviously one of the best fights here. We have Max Holloway 21-6 versus Calvin Kattar 22-4. Holloway coming in off a couple losses to the current champion Volkanovski. I think that the last one was a little closer to me than the first one, although Max obviously had success. The biggest problem with Max, in my opinion, is he just never seems to have any real urgency.
Just to put a stamp on the round.
Yeah, he never puts a stamp on a round. It's like he just is just going through the fight.
Coasting.
Yeah, just coasting. Perfect. It's just surfing for real. He's on the wave. Man, and the difference here is that Calvin Kattar will bring it, and I mean he's got great boxing. I think part of what helps Max in most of his fights is his size advantage, mostly his height. He didn't have a terribly long reach at 69 inches, but being 5'11" in featherweight is helpful. He's actually a few years younger than Kattar, but I think if I had... This is kind of another one I don't really like aside too much. I would probably take Kattar for the value. Definitely on DraftKings, I think Kattar is almost a must-play. I personally see this fight going to a decision or going to the later rounds. If anyone were to get finished, in my opinion, it would be Kattar. Obviously, Holloway, a pretty good chin. But, man, he's taken so much damage. I think he's taken the most headshots of any UFC fighter in their career at this point. And Kattar, man, just crisp boxing. Actually will have the reach advantage, which I think will be very helpful for him here. We did see what Dustin Poirier did to Max Holloway in their fight, and I think that Kattar brings the size, he brings the boxing and the power, and part of what helps Holloway, in my opinion, is his height. He can kind of stay in kickboxing range and kind of pick most of the people apart, particularly like small Volkanovski. Whereas Kattar, man, he's going to be right there. When you're in kickboxing range where Holloway wants to be, he's going to be in Kattar's boxing range. I'm personally going to lean Kattar. I think both of these guys are in play on DraftKings. My favorite bet on this is over 1.5 for sure. That's not very good odds. It's like -500 or something ridiculous. But I like over 2.5 as well. It's just not quite as safe. I think I'll probably parlay over 1.5 with Buckley as like one of my higher parlays here. But yeah, sorry, I just talked a bunch.
No, you're good. I can't be mad at the Kattar side. It's definitely kind of similar to the Poirier matchup. But I kind of like Max here. I think he gets this one done. I think just the volume. Kattar's never outstriking his opponents. He's always keeping up with them or being outstruck, and then he gets to finish usually. But
yeah,
we haven't seen Max get finished anytime recently. So, I mean, I don't think that's going to happen necessarily. So, I mean, I like Max just keep doing his thing, outstriking him. Hopefully he does put his stamp on these rounds this time. And I wouldn't rule out a late finish, round 4, round 5, or a decision. But I think Max gets it done.
Nice. Yeah, I really do like the decision.
I don't mind either side on DraftKings or a stack.
Yeah, I think the stack is definitely viable.
I stacked him and Poirier when they fought, and I won a little bit that night.
I mean, I definitely, in my first lineup I built, the stack was in there. there's just not a ton of great options around the same price tag as Holloway. Like in the original build I had, you could go to Lingo, you could go to Moras or Emeev. Who I'm not super happy with any of those guys. So I do like the stack. Yeah, and Ponzi, I don't really like Ponzi very much up there either. But it'll be interesting to see how the new Draftkings scoring plays out. Very happy for the return of UFC here.
I think Emeev and maybe one of these girl fights would benefit the most from the new scoring. Whoever just lays in praise.
Yeah, I think Emeev.
I don't even know how much that's gonna take into account. It's like .00 something or something.
Right.
It's like they'll probably need 10 minutes for it to be
anything substantial.
A crucial. Yeah.
Yeah, weird. So we'll see how it goes, and then we'll kind of reconfigure moving forward.
Yes, sir.
Hopefully it helps. Fight Metrics still involved, aren't they?
Fight Metrics still involved. They're the ones that took advances off their scoring, so that's why Draftkings is doing it. Because then Draftkings are just showing advances that Fight Metric isn't. Yeah. So it's just who the fuck knows what Draftkings is going to give out now.
Yeah.
It's bad enough it was up to Fight Metric. Now it's just up to Draftkings.
Well, yeah, I mean, both Evan and I had a really good end of the year last year as far as betting is concerned.
Yeah, there for sure.
Definitely follow us on Twitter. I'm at TBenderMMA. Evan is at Third Round TKO. I'll leave the link in the description. Sorry it's been an extended absence here. We're happy to be back on this. We probably won't get one out for the Wednesday card.
Let's aim for the other Saturday.
Yeah, we'll try to get one out around Wednesday
for the
Connor. Return of Connor. Red panty night. Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Evan. Appreciate you, man.
Yes, sir. Got you.
And I'll see you soon.
I'll catch you later.